Peter Parker has been an ever-present in popular culture since his first appearance in Amazing Fantasy number 15 in 1962. He's been the subject of countless cartoons, a multitude of comic series, a plethora of films, some good, some bad, and a 70s Japanese action-adventure TV show. He's also been the star of many games. Whilst the essence of Spider-Man is captured in action set pieces and long swings through New York City, what about the groundwork laid by Peter Parker? 2018 Spider-Man, produced by Insomniac, provides what I feel is a definitive reflection and progression of Spider-Man, while simultaneously creating the perfect protagonist, Peter Parker. Syd Field states that sometimes we live our lives in the shadow of another person. We want to find a way and a situation and an action where the character can gain their own true identity. When we first meet Peter in the game, we are introduced to the notion of responsibility and choice. Peter lives alone in a messy room and he is immediately faced with a choice: pay his bills or be Spider-Man. This choice, introduced in the game's opening, perfectly encapsulates the journey on which we are about to embark. The script, written by John Paquette, Christos, Gage and Benjamin Arfmann, handles this choice by stating he'll deal with that later. This theme runs throughout the game, with our protagonist's duties as Spider-Man infringing on the responsibilities of being Peter Parker. Nothing better encapsulates this than Peter's relationship with Mary Jane. This Peter is unlike many incarnations seen before. The charm of Spider-Man has always revolved around audience identity with him. As Stan Lee once said, anybody reading Spider-Man in any part of the world can imagine that they themselves are under the costume. The whimsical boyish charm seen in Tom Holland's portrayal is still present in 2018 Spider-Man, but we are also introduced to a more grizzled version of Peter Parker. We understand that he has been the web-slinger for 8 years, and the writers make the conscious decision to plunge us into the fallout of Peter's time as Spider-Man. We understand that Peter and MJ's once blossoming relationship was hindered by the responsibilities that come with being Spider-Man. The first interaction between the pair isn't a moment between MJ and Peter, it's a moment between MJ and Spider-Man. These elements touch on the most important part of these stories: human nature. Robert McKee states that true character is revealed in the choices a human being makes under pressure. The greater the pressure, the deeper the revelation, the truer the choice to the character's essential nature. Applying this to Peter, we continually see how he quite literally masks his responsibilities as a human with his duties and needs of being a hero. The intersections of human versus hero blend into the ideas of story. The betrayals of Otto and Martin Lee aren't just powerful because they challenge Spider-Man's heroism, they are powerful because they challenge the emotions of Peter Parker. Throughout, we witness the internal struggle that Peter faces. We know he cares for MJ, we know he wants to be there for Miles, and we know that he wants to protect Aunt May. However, the role of a hero doesn't always permit the safety of those you love, and after 8 years of being Spider-Man, Peter has grown to understand the infamous line that lingers over all Spider-Man media: with great power comes great responsibility. Peter's journey throughout the game is surmised by the 3-act structure of the story. Act 1, titled City of Hope, opens with Peter taking down Fisk. Not only is this the opening action set piece that thrusts us into the story, it's also the inciting incident that begins to turn the cogs of devastation. Act 1 is bookended by the death of Miles' father, Jefferson Davis, and leads us into Act 2, City of Fear. Act 2 is concluded with the revelation that Peter's father figure throughout the story, Otto Octavius, has turned against him. The formation of the Sinister Six eases us into the final act, City of War. Not only do the titles of the acts provide an insight into the world of the game, they are key codifiers of Peter's emotions. Hope, fear, and war are key constructs of Spider-Man's lore, and it's the betrayal of Otto that sees a shift in our hero.
You are everything I wanted to be! You just threw it away!
The balance of duty and responsibility hang over Peter throughout the story, but it is the final choices that provide insight to our protagonist's progression. The balance between Peter Parker and Spider-Man is prevalent throughout, but the creation of the anti-Ox suit combines elements of both. By the end of the game, Peter has come full circle. His life as Peter Parker crosses into his battles as Spider-Man for the first time, and he learns to embrace both duty and responsibility. In an interview with Sci-Fi, lead writer John Paquette explained how the team of writers wanted to show the process of becoming a man. You go through that moment in your early 20s when you think, I can handle the world, I know it all, and then the world just crushes you. This quote is a perfect encapsulation for the themes of the game, and nothing better captures the fall of man than Dr. Octavius' slow descent into madness. One of the final lines from Otto in the script is, if you want to change the world, you have to be the kind of man who can make the hardest decisions. It's this line that acts as the final piece of advice for Peter before he is faced with his most difficult choice: save the city or save Aunt May. The final moments of the game and the story link us back to McKee's thesis. Character is revealed in the choices a human being makes under pressure. Whilst the final moments between Peter Parker and Aunt May play beautifully, it's the description within the script that informs us of the writer's intentions.
I am so proud of you. And Ben would be too. All the people you've saved.
I don't know what to do.
It is in this moment that we feel closest to Peter. Not because he's just saved the city, but because of the sacrifice he's made in order to do it. When this decision is made, we're not looking at Spider-Man. We're looking at the face of Peter Parker, the true hero of our story, the embodiment of sacrifice and responsibility, the perfect protagonist. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, share and subscribe to Page to Screen. I'm Matt, and I'll see you soon.